Welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying these ice videos. We're gonna go into detail today. Obviously, you've seen the title and description. Most likely the thumbnail. This one's gonna be a Tackle Tip Tuesday for all you guys trying to find first ice. I was already on first ice a couple different times. I have a lot of videos for you guys from these different couple trips I have already taken, but it looks like the ice is going to be going away, so this has given me an idea to see if I can help you guys find your first ice lakes. Obviously, go safely, make sure you bring a friend if you don't know what you're doing, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna go into detail because some of you guys in my live feed, I believe I did last week, obviously if you guys were here, you know what I'm talking about, but if you're not, I will link it at the end of this video. You guys can click on it and actually join in on the discussion from the live feed. I encourage you guys to talk back and forth and discuss ideas and stuff like that, so we can all basically learn from each other. I'm not oblivious to learning new things, but I got a list of things to go through, and one of the things that you guys wanted me to talk about more was breaking down new bodies of water, possibly like hot spots, stuff like that. But the first thing that you got to do in the wintertime is find that first ice lake that gets built ice first. That's without saying, but some people, like, all lakes can get ice on it, but the thing is the one that gets it first has the least amount of snowfall, tends to build it the fastest. So that's the lake you're looking for, because that's going to be the lake that has like 3 to 4 inches when everything else has 1. And that's what I found this last weekend here. But I actually went through in detail for you guys. But first thing I want to mention is DWS Outdoors now has merch. If you guys have already seen this, you know what's going on. But the whole thing I'm stressing here about merch is the biggest thing for me this season is I'm going to struggle to get out and fish if I don't get the support needed. Last season I had a lot of extra, or well, not a lot, but spare money that I had saved up to get out for you guys, to get out as often as possible. I slept in my truck a lot because I couldn't afford to stay anywhere. So basically it was just gas for the season, and I spent a lot more than anybody can probably fathom driving. That's probably the first time I've ever spent that much money in a single winter. So the only thing I could think of, and I asked you guys first if it, something you guys wanted, was merch. So this is my long sleeve tee. I've got a hoodie right here. These things, these specific ones that I got right now are for this specific series that you guys are watching, Tackle Tip Tuesday, or Tackle Tip Tuesday, however that goes back and forth in there. But the point I'm trying to make is I have merch linked in the description. When you guys are done with this video, after you're, if you like it or whatever, obviously give it a thumbs up and stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys want to help support the channel and get me out filming more so I can get out for you guys, I basically stick all of my money that I make into this. This is all I do, guys. This is all I do. See? Fishing, fishing, fishing. Everything revolves around fishing. So, enough rambling. If you guys like this stuff, like I was trying to say before, so I got stickers and stuff like that. There's a lot of options. If you go in the description below, there's 2 different styles that I did. I did Tackle Tip Tuesday, and then I think the other one is Hard Water Addiction. Obviously, it's for you guys, ice guys, that are paying attention to these videos. So let's get started. I want to help some of you guys find your first ice spots. Okay, so the cool thing here, and I just kind of came up with this off the top of my head, and it's basically going off of like how I was just fishing. It made it a lot easier for me to talk to you guys. Let's start with the easier lakes to find that are normally overlooked, and a lot of people don't even realize that they could possibly be, good first ice spots. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do this backwards here for you guys. I did this board thing on a request idea from something you guys told me a long time ago, is to use a whiteboard. I need to get a bigger one, yes, so don't talk about that right now. But right now we're going to talk about Lake 2. Obviously we got Lake 1 and Lake 2, so you'll know what I'm referencing. But the biggest thing here, and it's kind of one of those things, some people don't understand it, some people automatically get it. If you already automatically get how to find these lakes, basically this isn't for you. But if you want to help support the channel before you leave, go pick up some merch. If not, stick around, let's try and learn something. On Lake 2, the easiest thing I can describe for you guys is if you learn how to look at Google Maps or any kind of mapping service for your state or your area. When I'm looking for my very first ice lakes, meaning most lakes don't have any ice, like 99% of them don't have any ice, but there's going to be like, it's a possibility of 5 to 2% that do. And then this one specifically, not this one, but this one specifically will have the thickest ice on it. So if you guys can see, these are basically, they're like topo maps for lakes. I just tried drawing them freehand and make them look as good as possible. But this lake will have a lot of 1 to 2 to 3 to 5 feet of water. So most of the lake is only, we'll say 5 feet deep. Like 70% of the lake's only 5 feet deep. And then you have 10 to 14 in 20% of the lake. But nothing deeper than this. If you start getting deeper than 14 foot, I was hesitant to put 14 because I usually look for 12. A lot of these lakes will actually freeze out a lot of times whenever you have really thick ice years. But sometimes when they bounce back, you'll get really good fishing. So this is the lake you're looking for first when you start looking around on maps. And honestly, this lake, almost 9 times out of 10, if it doesn't end up with a bunch of snow on it, is also going to have the thickest ice on it. So if you guys watched last Sunday's video, that's the reason I was able to drive my squealer out. It was I was on a lake just like this, where it wasn't deep through the whole lake. It was a very big lake, like circumference-wise, like it was really far across, but the deepest spot in the whole lake was 14 feet. That lake has frozen out in the past. I was hoping to get into some big fish. I did catch fish, so if you guys want to go watch that video and see the first ice video and see the squealer in action, everything, you can go check that out. It'll be in the ice fishing playlist. But we'll get back to this. So the biggest thing here is when you get on a lake, if you can access, so when you're looking for access, you're trying to find access on this side of the lake here. I specifically drew these closer together like that because this steep break line, even on this shallow lake, could have the thinner ice on it. It might only be an inch thinner, and you might have 5 inches here and 4 inches here, which is technically walkable. As long as you're spudding your way out using a spud bar, you're safe. You got a buddy with you, you should be fine. So this lake should have been number 1, but I just wrote it down this way. This is the one you're going to want to search for. And when you're looking at topographical stuff, if you can look at a region map, that's something that would really benefit you in your area. So what you're looking at is all of the land, and what you're looking for are these potholes that are just parts of the swooping landscape that have water in them, basically. That is the first thing you're going to want to look for when you're looking for first ice. That first week it gets real cold and you're making ice. Usually any kind of shallow body of water will freeze. I'm going to go to Lake 1 here and just kind of go over this real quick for you guys. I don't want to make this like you're in school or something like that. If you guys know what I'm talking about, like I said, don't complain about how I'm telling you. I'm trying to break this down for people who have never done this before. This lake, this is the ideal first ice lake. If you can find one of these, you're gonna have a good day on first ice. So this little thing here says 20 in it, so that's a 20-foot hole with like a 16-foot main basin, real steep sides, but it's got an offshoot lake, so something with 4 to 6 foot in between, but then it's got a closed off bay that's 6 to 8 foot deep. I wouldn't say any deeper than that, because then you got to worry about, like, with how big this is, wind moving the water around and not letting it freeze. But with this one, as long as you can get on north of this little part, this whole lake might have ice on it, but this might only have 1 inch. This might have 5 or 6. And because of that, these fish can travel up to feed and back down to be in safer water or deeper water with more oxygen in it. That's the simplest way to put this. If you're really looking for ice, and you can't find any of these lakes, start looking for bays. That's the ideal thing, is a bay off of a deep lake. 9 times out of 10, if it's got a really deep lake next to it, that bay is going to always have fish in it first and last ice, especially if it's a northern bay like this. I specifically drew it that way because first ice, you want the northern bays. Last ice, you want the southern bays. Well, unless there's good ice, then you want to be on the northern bays because that's a spawning bay. Okay, so hopefully, do me a favor, comment below if I need to break that down even further while I'm on the ice. Like I said, I try to do it to the best of my ability while I'm out there, but I get in this kind of zone, and that's why I catch fish, because I'm really focused on trying to figure out what they're doing, why they're doing it, where they're doing it, and how I can get them to do it to my jig. That's the whole process of ice fishing in a nutshell. But I hope this thing, if you guys want, take a screenshot of that thing, and then you can use it for a reference point. Like I was saying, Lake 1 is the one with the little offshoot bay, 6 to 8 foot deep. Lake 2, the whole entire lake is just shallower. You got to remember though, so you're gonna do this a lot if you get used to fishing first ice. When you find a lake, obviously spud your way out and check it, but move around a little bit. If you're on Lake 2, so the big shallow one where it has the possibility of freezing out, and you're catching tiny little fish, what'll happen is those lakes will freeze out, killing off most of the larger fish. Sometimes they bounce back, and when they bounce back, they come back really good. Sometimes they never bounce back, and they just keep freezing out, and it's bad lake. In either case, if you start getting a ton of small fish and you don't catch one decent-looking fish, go look for lake number 1. Go try to find yourself a bay that's off of a main lake. Sometimes the main lake might even be open water still. But that bay will freeze up, and with the bay frozen up, it allows you to get out over a spot where fish are coming and going, and you can ice fish over them. You got to be real careful with those. Wind can move ice around, and if it's not thick enough, snowfall and water on top of the ice can make it sink and sag and break. So you really got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Okay, so in a nutshell, shallow waters. One thing I didn't mention and I didn't draw it out on those was you're looking for secluded stuff. So if something has trees all the way around it, blocking the wind, especially a bay. So let's go back to the door. Let's go back to the drawing board. So this right here, if that little thing, if every lake you know of is still wide open, you're driving around, you're going nuts, and you don't think you're going to find ice, but it's been cold, you can't figure it out because it's been windy, find that secluded bay. Find the one that's covered with trees that are 40 feet tall next to it, and you can barely get into it, and it's really hard to access. That bay will have ice. So go find yourself that bay, and I promise you'll get on first ice. Otherwise, I hope you guys stay safe this season. We're going to have a really weird start to our season because it got really cold. It's going to warm back up. We're looking at like 40, 50 degree weather coming up here in the near future. And that's technically normally November. So we're real early here, and I just got lucky and I was able to get out with a couple guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you pick some merch up. If you pick up merch, do me a favor. Tag at DWSDave31. I'll put it right here on the screen. And tag that on Instagram or Twitter, and let me know if you got some stuff. Tag me. I want to see who's all getting my stuff. I would love to see all the gear everybody's picking up, what you guys like the most. Comment below in this video what gear you want to get, and which ones you like specifically out of what I've put together so far. I'm gonna try and put some more together this winter, and we'll look forward to that. Then I just got to get some more ideas going, and obviously get out and fish some more. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I'm helping with these Tackle Tip Tuesdays. We got 1.5 months left. So let's get it, finished with a bang. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Obviously, if you're not new here, you know what's up. But if you are new, would you please just remember to